Hello, thank you again for tuning in to our channel. This is the Diaspora Panel, the voice of the diaspora. I have with me, as always, I have my great friend, Mr. Olaitan Adedigba, who is based in United States of America. Mr. Adedigba, you are welcome to today's meeting.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
I also have my brother, Mr. Olalawal, who is based in Calgary, that is in Canada. Mr. Lawal, you are also welcome.
Thank you for having me.
Today, we are going to discuss the reason why Northern leaders are not happy with Tinubu and why they want him out on and before 2027. And one of the most recent reasons that we can lay our hands on are the tax reform bills, especially the VAT part of the tax reform bill. We've heard a lot of Northern leaders come out and say that that bill is anti-North, that is against the interest of the North. But when we look at the statistics of the VAT, what we found out is that what they are saying is actually far from the truth, especially when we look at the statistics of where the VATs have been generated. So I'm going to start with you, Lighton. You are the first person in the studio. And if you look, let me show, I'm going to show what is being proposed by the government, what is being proposed by the government. Please bear with me. And first of all, I want to show how the VAT is generated and what each region is getting. So if you bear with me a moment, I'm going to show my screen and then we can continue from there. So, okay, I don't know whether you can see my screen. Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Okay, I'm just going to make it a bit larger. So if you look at the screen, you can see how VAT is generated. As you can see here, this is the Southwest. It's generating about 3.1 trillion, but it's getting back about 849 or 850 billion, which is about, it's only getting back about 27% of what it's generating. The South is generating about 1 trillion, it's getting about half of that. Northwest generating 211 billion, it's getting 574, which is getting about 271% back. Northeast is generating 174, and it's getting back about 411. That's about 236. North Central is generating about 154, it's getting about 408, which is about 264%. And Southeast is generating 100 billion, and getting back about 341 billion. So, Lighton, when you look at these statistics, do you think that by trying to reorder the allocation so that the regions who generate more are able to keep more of their money they generate, do you think that is an anti-North policy?
The question, let me start by quoting the philosophers.
Yeah.
They said the philosopher have only interpreted the word. The point is to change it.
Okay.
This tax reform is long overdue. And is due likely to the long reign of the Northerners to be at the aim of affairs at military level, at the civilian level, right? Since the military, it started, since time of Gowon, this revenue formula has been in existence. But for we in the southern part, we don't want to oppose, like I said, we don't want to oppose them. We don't want to do this. We want to be refined. We want to be gentle. We want to be modest. That's what led us to all these problems we are facing today, right? But there are times for everything. I think it's now the time to do a revenue formula, right? To reform this revenue formula. How on earth will somebody be generating? North Central will be earning back 264% of what they earn. Why the Southwest will be earning 27%? Is it logical? So these are the area some people, they don't see us as one. Right? If they see us as one, it will have been a just, equitable system, right? Not whereby you want to oppress the other, right? And the most annoying part of it is that these people are getting larger chunk of the total revenue. They are not doing anything with it. They are not sitting down to think, what can we do with this thing? How are we going to turn around the fortune of our people, the constituents? What are we going to do? A lot of people are in power, abject penury in the northern part of the country. So these are the areas we need to concentrate our attention on. And the northern leader, they should think like the way Sardauna, Aminu Kano, the way they were, Balarabe, Rimi, the way they are thinking, they are thinking how to move their section of the country forward. Right? The people like Awolowo, the way they are doing, right? Not that you just go to Abuja to go and collect allocation, then you share, then you wait in next month. But what are you going to do? Add value to people, right? A lot of people, the social problem we are facing is due likely to our leaders. So if our leader could sit down, then, sit down to fashion out how to, alleviate the condition of the people, then Nigeria will be better for it.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Shukwa, if you look at, I don't know whether you can see the bar chart in front of me. Can you see it?
I can, yes.
Yeah. If you look at this bar chart, this is actually a pie chart. You see that the Southwest, for example, is producing about 65% of this, is deriving about 65% of this VAT, followed by the South, which is about 30%. Now the other, say about 10 or 15% come from the other regions. So if we have a proper federation, why should each of these regions not generate their own revenue and keep what they generate?
Thank you very much. I think actually if you move to the first statistics, as well as this one, because I think the numbers tell three important stories that I want every Nigerian to listen to. The first one is that from what was contributed, if you want any region to produce a leader that will likely re-energize the Nigerian economy, I think the two regions that have demonstrated that capability are the Southwest and the South-South. I think looking at these numbers, it doesn't make sense to have someone from the Northwest or Northeast who is taking more than they can. This is fundamentally saying the track record speaks for itself. If you look at Nigeria's history, we've had more Northerners in power than the South. The current state of the Nigerian economy actually is explained by this chart, because we have literally taken people from regions where they've not been able to show leadership in energizing their own communities and generating wealth, who have only been used to taking more than they can generate. And that is the model that they've pretty much explained and put out there for the rest of Nigeria. So this chart tells that story. The second thing that this chart also says is that the reason we are having this conversation is because we have a leader from the Southwest who has demonstrated the ability and has a track record of building a strong economy. That's why we're having this conversation. So when Northerners are saying it's anti-North, what they are indirectly saying is, we don't want change. We are comfortable with generating little and taking more, as long as other people are doing the work and we are chopping. That is what I understand when Northerners say this is an anti-North bill. What this tax bill will do is it will give regions the ability to generate revenue and keep a larger share of what you are generating while contributing to the center. So, in other words, you eat what you kill. The only set of people who will never like that model are people who are unproductive, who are lazy, who can't, put themselves to work, and who do nothing but continue to rely on the hard work, the sweat of others to earn their own living. This chart does not tell us that the North has more population or that the North has more land, because that's what we're hearing. We have many more people. We have more land. Well, why are you generating the least revenue? It's either you have no vision or you are lazy. This is just what this chart says. So I think the reason we're having this conversation today is because we have a leader from the Southwest who has had this track record, who is trying to restructure Nigeria in that same light. And I think he deserves to be given that opportunity.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Shupo. Lighton, let me come back to you. So now let's start from where Shupo has ended it off, about a leader from the Southwest who is trying to do fiscal federalism to make sure that regions are much more productive, by giving them incentive. So the federal government came up with the tax bill, which include a restructuring of the VAT system. Now, if you look at this, I don't know whether you can see this.
I can see.
Yeah. So now, currently, the way this is structured is that when you generate VAT, the derivation is only 20%. That means if you generate VAT income, you only keep 20% of it. And then 50% of it is shared equally. And then 30% is shared according to population. So some people say they have population, but they are not productive, and they're taking 30%. So the person who actually baked the bread only takes 20%. And then the person who is sitting down lazy, who say I'm more populous, is taking 30%. And then 50% is distributed equally. So the federal government says, no, that's wrong. And so what we'll do now is that the derivation, actually I missed that, is now 60%, not 20, 60%. And then the equality is 20% and population is 20%. But our brother from the North says no. And so using the Northern, the Governors Forum as a body, they came together and then they are proposing that derivation should only be 30%, while equality should be 50%, while population should be, I think I missed that also, population should be 20%. That's what was they finally agreed on. So, Lighton, what do you think about this proposal? What do you think about it?
Yeah, the proposal is unfortunate. The majority of we Southerners, we don't believe that. The Northerners, they don't see us as one.
Yeah.
They believe they are superior to the Southerners.
Okay.
And they believe that the wealth of the nation belongs to them.
Okay.
Right? So whatever they say, whatever they do, is sacrosanct.
Okay.
You can't query, you can't question it. So that is the way they view the whole country. That look at the issue of oil rig, right? 99.9% of the oil rigs belong to the Northerner, right? And the oil is found in the south, southeast, southwest. So that is where it comes. The issue is a real problem. These people, they are out, right, to get it. The wealth of the nation, they want to share, they want to have larger share, but they don't want to contribute.
Okay.
But thank God, we have somebody now at the end of affair who is saying, okay, let us do tax reform. But now everybody are now, the Northerners are now saying no. But come what may, the issue of population, I thank God, the population census they want to conduct now, it will be about biometrics And anybody who doesn't know, not that we be at home, they will just write your name, they will do it. No. It will be the data of everybody will be captured. The BVN, all this stuff they use in Nigeria, everything will be on record. So there's no way you can say, okay, you are this, you are this. We want to know the population of the Nigeria.
We'll get to population later. We are coming to population. So
yeah.
What do you think about the proposal of the Northern Forum?
The proposal. I know the proposal of this 50, the population, it will be 50, the equity, it will be 50, and the derivation will be 30. The proposal, I'm not comfortable with it because, no, I'm comfortable with it because the population census will bring out the real population of Nigeria. Then they will be sharing it according to our population. Thank you.
Okay, no worries. So
I have a bit of a different perspective, and I don't agree. And the reason is because what we have seen from these numbers is regions that have a lot of people that are relying on the hard work of others to live, basically. And going 50% for population is going to do nothing more but encourage this lazy attitude where some people think their rights is, they are born to rule and others should be subservient to them. I will stick to the federal government proposal to give 20%, for population. 60%, I believe, was supposed to be for derivation, and then 20% for equality. Yeah. That, I think, is a formula that will do what we want, which is to encourage states and regions to begin to generate revenue. You see, when you begin to generate revenue, trust me, your perspective about this is going to change. It's like an entrepreneur who is working, who is doing everything, hiring people, producing goods, selling them, doing everything, only for his profits to be taxed, totally, that, for people who are not doing anything to be getting all the money. That is not acceptable. That will do nothing but, continue to, to create and maintain states that are likely unproductive. And guess what? If some regions can't produce any revenue, maybe they should not be entities. Maybe the right thing to do is to put states together, to a point where they can begin to generate substantial revenue. That should be on the table. People shouldn't have states because they just want a state. They should be able to sustain themselves and bring something as well to the center.
Thank you very much.
The reason why I'm talking about the population is the real population is not known. All this population they are giving us, it has been exaggerated. And when we conduct a census,
we are still going to discuss population.
Yeah. I want us to be very honest, I don't care what the population is. What I care about is that whatever people we have, whatever body masses we have, should be put to honest and profit-producing work.
Okay, so based on the governor's forum proposal, the federal government proposal, I am thinking that the way we can resolve this is to do like a proper federation would normally do. What the proper federation would normally do is every region would normally we normally generate its own tax and then keep something for itself. And then keep something send something to the federal. So I'm thinking that the best way to solve this is, first of all, to remove population. I mean, if you say you are populous, why are you not generating money? If you say that you are the one that you are 20 million, why you generate the money for about 1 million? Why is your population not generating? So I don't think population should be a criteria. I think what should happen is that let every state or every region generate their own VAT. Let them keep 50%. Let them send 50% into the federation account that can be shared equally, so that those who are not fortunate enough can at least have something to share, so that it's not like we are shutting them out. But to be using 30% to 10% population, I don't think that makes sense to me. What do you think, Mike?
Yeah, that is my thinking too. But our people, because of the long years of neglect and cheat on equitable situation whereby the military government they just sit down somewhere
can you move your camera down a bit?
Like they did the constitution of Nigeria, that the way they impose it on us. So likewise, and they be at the end of affairs, they are this, they are that. So they just sat down, okay, let's put it this way. Any money that they gather, then we be giving them maybe 25%, and our northern borders, they be getting 95%. Which, I mean, 200 and something million, percent. So it's unheard of in a just and equitable society. They should even think about how are they going to survive with all this one. But they are still crying vow where there's no stress. That only Lagos, it will favor only Lagos, it will favor Ogun, it will favor only the Southwest. But you people, you can sit down, you can think, okay, how am I going to make sure that my state is viable? What am I going to do? What am I going to be doing to get dollar? What am I going to do? How am I going to send people to the farm? All these people, they know the Boko Haram people, but they can't arrest them. They know all these people causing problem in their society, but they are not near them. That's why they don't go to farm. These are the people that have been feeding us for the years, right? It is enough. I mean, enough is enough. If they can't do it, as a matter of fact, I'm not going to the extreme. Nigeria, I think everybody should go to their own tent. I'm telling you.
Okay, Lighton. Thank you. Let's put something there. So, Shupo, what do you think of that proposal for 50-50?
I think it makes perfect sense, in my opinion. And the reason I would even push a bit further, maybe a bit to the right, to say, let the derivation be 60%, and then let equality be 40%, is really what I would really like. And the reason is because once derivation becomes more, it gives an incentive for people to become locally productive and less reliant on the center. Today, we have a lot of states, or let me say, probably at least 3 of the 6 geopolitical zones are generating significantly lower from what they are receiving. And when they say the tax bill is anti-north, what they are saying is that we don't want this to change. We don't want this to ever change. I mean, Senator Ali Ndume was on record for saying that one bill took about 10 years to negotiate. Seriously, you want this to take the next 10 years? What are we paying you for? So I would even push for derivation to be 60%, because what that does is it sends a signal to regions and to states to begin to generate their own revenue locally. It will spur and create economic activity. Locals will benefit first before the rest of the federation. And I think that's the way it ought to be.
Thank you very much. So let's go to the next topic that we want to discuss. It's about it's still on the same issue anyway. So now the federal government, President Tinubu has directed the National Population Census to conduct a biometric population census this year. Now, biometric means that everybody will be captured. Your face will be captured. Your fingerprints will be captured. Your eye pupils will be captured. So the case in the past where the census official will go to a house and somebody will tell you, Bashiga, because I have Eleha in the house, you can't go into there, but I will tell you how many people I have in the house. That's not going to happen this time around. So, Lighton, do you think that we are going to see, we are going to actually know whether the North is populous than the South? Do you think that all the lies in the last 60 years are going to be exposed?
Yeah, all along we've been telling ourselves lies upon lies. But it is now the time that we have to face the reality of life. When we have the biometric capturing, whereby your eye will be captured, your fingers will be captured, your date of birth, your everything, your address. So it will help a lot to determine a lot of things. Even when somebody commit a crime, when they put your name into that thing, it will pop up, your information will pop up. These are the things we need in Nigeria that is lacking. And in all developed countries, the developing countries, Nigeria is lacking behind. We don't have we don't have a database system, right? So we need this to determine a lot of things in Nigeria, to determine a lot of the numbers of people in any area where they are living, to determine those people who are the original people who are living, their work, where they are doing, what they are doing, their relations. So these are the things we need. And to come back to your question, the database, right? Like I said earlier on, it will help us to determine the population of the whole country.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
All right. Okay. So, Shukwu, if you look at Nigeria's population structure, let me show you. I'm going to show something on my screen now. I'm going to show our climatic structure. So I don't know whether, can you see my screen?
Yes.
Okay. Nigeria is the only country in the world where there are much people in the Sahel than in the rainforest. So if you look, the majority of the northern states, they fall in the Sahel region, which is much more like Niger Republic. If you look at Niger Republic, the population of Niger Republic is about 1/4 of the population of the whole of northern Nigeria. So why is it that it's only in Nigeria, in the whole world, that you will have more people in the desert than in the rainforest? So what is the kind of logic? How can you explain it, Shukwu? Hello, can you hear me?
Well, thank you very much. So I think when we look at this map, it makes sense with conventional wisdom, which is you typically have more people in rainforest areas, and then the further up you move, where you are moving much into desert climate, the population begins to drop off. So if you start from the coastal areas, for example, in West Africa, and I encourage our viewers to actually, maybe check population density maps for Africa. You will see that there are more people, for example, in West Africa, along the coasts, who live along the coast. And then as you move up, the population drops off. That is what makes sense. That is what conventional wisdom tells us. Similarly, if you look at countries that are cold, for example, if you look at the map of Canada, you'll find that more people in Canada live, in the south towards the border with the United States. That is because the further up north you go, the colder it gets. So Nigeria is the only country that defies this logic with the current population. How can you say more people are living in the desert than are living in the rainforest? That's the first thing. Similarly, we've had this before, where Nigeria's fuel consumption was significantly higher than those of other countries with about the same population and even more productivity. And the question then was, okay, so where is all this oil? Where is it going? Well, we found the answer that it was fraud. It was, a lot of the fuel was being diverted to other African countries. I think this is a smart move by President Bola Tinubu, because if you are going to have true federalism, you need to know how many people you have, you need to know where they live, you need to know all of that data. first and foremost, to be able to plan properly. Secondly, if you are going to be assigning the representation for both chambers of the legislature, it needs to be based on the number of people within each of the areas. So, for example, right now I think there are more northern legislators than the South. Well, that will be a travesty of democracy if the South actually has more people than the North. So, a census, I think, is important because it will clarify all of these things, and we can ensure that people have the appropriate representation, and any tax formulas for sharing VAT or whatever will be based on the true population that we have, not on population that has been provided, for other people's benefit.
I think you actually got ahead of me there. I was going to ask that later, but let me go back to Lighton. Lighton,
yep.
You are a politician. Okay, so let's assume that after the end of this population census, we now found out that, for example, there are 25 million people in Lagos. There are only 7 or 8 million people in Kano. Kano has 40 local governments. Lagos has 20 local governments. Let's assume after the end of this population census, we found out that the North is 80 million, the South is 120 million. What do you think will happen in Nigeria?
What will happen? There should be there should be a rearrangement. But the Northerners, they always talk about their interests, but not the interests of the whole country at large. For a reasonable person, you should be thinking about what concerns the whole country. For a leader, you'll be thinking about what concerns the whole country, not your own session. But anything that affects your people, if you affect you, if you have multiplier effect on the others, the only thing for these people to do, right, is to abide by the whatever the numbers of the population, the people they have there, right? In the sense that I know full well in a desert, there cannot be too many people there, more than the densely populated area. So that's my. But I know at the end of the day that they will not agree. The Northerners, they will be saying they might don't mark my word. There might not be any sense of.
Okay. I hope I'm very sure that there will be a sense of. But Shupo, I know
they will go against it.
They can go against it, but
and in our usual way of doing things, do you see the Southern governors talking? They didn't talk. They didn't raise any eyebrow when they are talking about derivation. None of them. But this thing affects these people. You are the people producing it, and some people are indolent over there. They are getting a chunk of it.
Sure. Right? We know that the people in the North are benefiting more. So now, if the president says, "Now, okay, we've done a new population census," we now found out that actually, the North is 100 million, the South is 120 million, and so we need to make some adjustment. Do you think that will cause some political problems?
I would be surprised if it does, because if people are saying no, let's just keep status quo, what they're basically saying is that we want to cheat the rest of the federation. You cannot have true federation where some people are scheming and lying for the interest of their own region and not for the interest of the whole country.
Right. Okay. So we come to the end of today's conversation anyway. Our time is fast spent. So Lighton, I'll just give you 1 minute. Do you have something you want to add, or so for 1 minute?
Yeah, all what we want to do in Nigeria, we should do it with great. With pure art. Let us think that is it genuine? Is it fair? Is it just to all that concern? So this is what should be at the back of our mind in whatever we want to do as a nation, right? So we should think about other people too who are contributing a chunk of their labor. So to the federal. So that is mine. Thank you.
Thank you, Lighton Shupo. Have you any one-liner, anything you want to add?
This is a different time. There's a new sheriff in town, obviously. So you either do what is in the best interest of the federation or risk being removed from that federation. It's as simple as that.
Thank you very much. So thank you, everybody, for listening, for watching our telecast. Please, if you're one of our viewers, if you have not yet subscribed, please hit that subscription button. It is free of charge. It means that when we do the next video, you'll be one of the first people to know about it. So we will see you again next week. From my friend, Mr. Olatunde, thank you so much for coming to today's meeting.
Yeah, it's my pleasure.
From my brother, Mr. Olawal, thank you also for coming to today's meeting.
Thank you for having me.
And to everybody, we'll see you again next week. God bless you. Goodbye.